And hey folks, we are back already. We are ready to go with our next run, which is Kitsune Tales in the Kiri % New Game category run by debeaunairVT. So, Debonair, take it away.
Hello everybody, my name is debeaunairVT, but you can call me Bo, and today we are going to play some Kitsune Tales, specifically the Kiri % New Game category. I am joined as ever by my fabulous host, or I guess we do have a fabulous host, but my fabulous commentator, Rally. Rally, how are you?
Doing fantastic today. Happy to be here to, co-pilot with you on your speed run and help put on a good show and raise some money for a good cause.
Heck yeah. All right, so a couple things to go over before we get started with the run here. The first thing is there's going to be a couple of audience participation points in this run. They're towards the end, and we'll let you know when they're coming up. So, but get ready because we're going to need you to type some things. We need some help. We've proven that this saves time, so we do need we need all the chat input we can get.
It is.
The second thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The second thing is you'll see on the screen right now we have design your magic postcard, and the cool thing about this is that it is actually magic. You'll probably notice that we've set everything to 1, and as you go through these, it changes your icons or your colors or things like that. But this has an impact on certain RNG caching, I suppose that you could call it, throughout the game, specifically for mini games that we're going to be playing later. So we want to set this all to 1 because it guarantees that we know where certain items are, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to that point. So, Rally, do you have anything else before we get a move on?
Oh, no, I was just going to say the audience participation, I think it might actually be, hard-coded into the game. We need help to save time. So
it does seem that way, yeah.
Yeah, so
all right.
It'll be a big help to us.
Well, without further ado, we will go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the very first thing that you will see is that we had a purple fox selected, and there she is. Her name is Yuzu. Everybody say goodbye to Yuzu. We're not going to see her again until the end of the game. We're going to be playing as Kiri for the majority of this run. And Kiri has some pretty unique abilities, most notable of which is she has a sword. That's a pretty good power. Pretty good power to have.
So, the way the sword works for Kiri is, the base moveset is something similar, it has a similar feel to Mario 3, so if you're familiar with that game, then you're probably familiar with how the overall game plays, but the sword gives Kiri a whole bunch of new abilities. Innately, she has a wall jump, she has a ground slide, she can break blocks, but using her sword kind of as a permanent raccoon tail equivalent or a cape attack, and we'll see later, she can use her sword to fly through the air. Part of Kiri's mechanics is she has the ability to attack enemies in the air, and when she does that, she gets an air jump and she could refresh her movement. So what we'll see as the game goes on is Kiri links a lot of her movement into enemy obstacles and kind of turns those into opportunities to refresh her movement and go faster really quickly. And we'll see how that goes as things play out.
Yes, indeed. As one of that ability, refresh, is probably the thing that makes most of the cool movement and stuff possible throughout this entire run. It does kind of enable quite a lot of player expression too, which is really cool. You can kind of freestyle quite a lot of stages in this game just with that ability alone, and a couple of timely enemy kills. The other big trick that we're going to be doing before we get any of our extra sword powers, and we'll be getting a couple of them as the route goes on, are these slope jumps, called as such because you jump off a slope. Basically, if you slide down any of the slopes and you jump at the end without pressing left or right, the game will let you maintain your momentum through the jump, and at any point, as long as you're not sliding on the ground and you're not letting friction take away that speed, you will have it for as long as you want, kind of. So until we get a couple of fancier movement options, that's going to be our bread and butter.
Yeah, it's if you're familiar with rocket jumping in Quake or Team Fortress, it has that similar kind of feel where like you don't want to hold the W key or you'll go slower. So you build up momentum and then you take your finger off the forward button and you get to retain that momentum and get a whole bunch of speed, which here we like.
One of the other really neat things that this game does is you'll notice that we're in a ghost house. There's one of these per world, and there's these lanterns. Anything that has this light on it is kind of has some special properties. If you want to talk about those a little bit.
Yeah. So differing a little bit from the typical Mario platformer ghosts and Kitsune Tails. If you look at them, they're still gonna come get you. They're proximity based in their aggression, where if you get close to them they aggro and then they'll just keep chasing you as long as you're in the same room as them. But if you enter a field of space that has a light in it, that orange light, then the ghosts will de-aggro and they can't hurt you. They become intangible when you're inside the light, and this mechanic will come up in a bunch of levels in a bunch of creative ways, but it is handy to know beforehand that that's how the ghosts work, so you'll get to see how we kind of navigate through them, because they can be very dangerous if it's too dark.
Yes. It also has the added benefit of making invisible things visible. What we just saw was we had to trick one of those lanterns into coming and hanging out with us a little bit so that we could see the door that was hidden there. But this gets used a couple of times throughout the game, and you'll see there's one level in particular that I'm thinking of, which is a really, really cool example of it. But that's not till a little bit later, so
this
we won't
level,
spoil too much.
Yeah, this level here is going to be a really good showcase of the slope jump speed. So it's a whole lot of hills. If we hit the jumps just right, you get a lot of velocity. And that was the room.
Nice. This next room also has a really big one, but it's way tighter than the one we just did. So we're gonna go for it. Actually, this would be a good time to talk about why we can go for every trick every time regardless.
Oh, I would love to. The way this speedrun works is Kitsune Tails has multiple difficulty settings. One of them is the easiest difficulty, which adds, instead of having to use the respawn point, which those lanterns are normally, you can set it to easy. So if someone's playing it, they're not really good at platformers, then when they die, they respawn on a cloud, and they can either retry a jump or skip past something that might frustrate them otherwise. But as a speedrunner, that is a mechanic in the game that the speedrun can take advantage of. And clouds are used in basically two ways. There's good clouds and bad clouds. Good clouds are where Bo will take a death intentionally in order to proc the cloud and have the temporary flight time. And there's a couple little tight routings and little spaces where you can save a lot of time on vertical runs by having a well-timed death. And then there's bad clouds, which are the ones that we saw a couple of them here or there. So you go for the big tricks, every time you just go for your big trick, and you can get 85% of the trick, you can get 85% of the time save, but if you don't stick the landing, you can respawn and just keep going. So as far as trying a speedrun yourself goes, it's really accessible, easy to pick up, because you could try all the tricks, and if you don't hit it, you still save a lot of time from the attempt. Even if it's not 100%, you can still just go for everything.
Yeah, it's it makes this super fun. You can just use every run as practice for hard tricks, and the hard tricks, we're not talking about trying to clip into a wall where you have to have specific subpixels and all kinds of stuff like that, at least as far as I'm aware. Most of this is just really precise movement. So being able to just do that every time means that you're going to have quite a lot more runs where you feel like you're learning and doing something cool, rather than getting stuck behind a common reset point or something like that. So very, very cool to pick up, very easy to really enjoy and fall in love with, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And there are other difficulties too, like running it on higher challenge mode and not having the cloud mechanic is an entirely different route from the one we're seeing here today. So
yeah,
there's a
totally different beast.
yeah.
So going into World 2 here, we're going to see... Oh my, that was too many blocks. We're going to see quite a few of Kiri's abilities. And we're going to see, a lot of these throughout the run, but specifically, these are abilities that the other character, Yuzu, needs to have an actual power-up costume for. So things like ground pounding those blocks and getting through them. Or wall jumping, that is not something Yuzu can do, but gosh, if she could. So we're going to be doing quite a lot of these tricks here and there, with the goal being, because we have access to it, we're going to give it a try, and we're going to try to use that to speed ourselves up a little bit. So. This stage is definitely one that you can do with both characters, although it's a little bit safer with Kiri. Basically what we want to do is we want to slope jump through the first half so that we can cloud up to this area. Then we want to slope jump through the second half as well. Oh, unfortunate.
Just missed that one.
Yeah, I think I misjudged the second jump there a little bit. But that is something that Yuzu can also do. Slope jumps are not specifically limited to Kiri, so if that part of the speedrun excites you, there's a whole category for that. That I think has quite a lot of room for optimization as of right now. So play the game.
Yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of world records posted, but the next one could be yours.
So this is the World 2 Ghost House. There's some really tight cycles in here, and we're going to be showing off one of the other neat things about our cloud powers, if you want to call them that, in the next screen. So,
yep. So we're gonna dodge our little ghost here. He's a little tricky, got us in a tight space, but we can use our movement to kind of keep our distance. Then we get into the light, and the ghost is no longer a problem. Would you like me to take over here?
Yes, please.
All right. So what we're doing here is part of the cloud respawn mechanic is in order to prevent a player from getting sort of soft lock or stuck in a wall if a crusher happens to push them out of bounds. They have a little bit of a grace period where you can, cloud through the wall. And what Bo's doing here is, right from when the room starts, these blocks are on a cycle, and if they hit the cycle just right, and they kind of come up through here, then they can chain a couple of good cloud deaths into a couple of timed wall clips and ascend through an otherwise difficult room, not difficult, time-consuming, and make it go a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. That room does get pretty difficult because the one thing about the ghosts that I don't think we talk about a lot is that where they end up post chasing you, they start their they don't like leash back to their home. They will stay there. So if you mess something up and there's a ghost out of position, you're in for a bad time. Oh, this is Aaron. Would you like to introduce Aaron?
Absolutely. So in the story of the game, Kiri's in a bit of trouble, and Aaron's her sword instructor, and she's been instructed to apprehend Kiri. So we'll meet Aaron, and midway through each level, we're going to meet Aaron, and we're going to have a fight. And Aaron's going to say, all right, I was told I have to come and catch you. I'm going to use a new move on you, so look very carefully. You won't want to miss it. And you have a little duel with Aaron, and afterwards you get access to a new movement option, which kind of expands what Kiri can do. And what we got here from the first fight is, it's called Blade Dash, which is sort of a, it's like an air dash, ground dash. It's a horizontal movement option that will be, it's one half of our bread and butter for the back half of the game, and you'll get to see a lot of it in the levels to come.
Yes, we love Blade Dash. I'm a Blade Dash stan. As Rally said, it is one of the two like linchpins of this whole run. It lets you save short jumps. It gives you a ton of invulnerability when you're going through enemies. Like it does it all. And because it's one of our sword abilities, we can reset its usage with the refresh power. Oh, I didn't slide there. Which means we can chain it quite a bunch in the air. So we will be able to take out an enemy and then continue our air movement with an additional jump and an additional blade dash, and eventually we'll also get an additional upward momentum piece and an additional downward momentum piece. And there's just so many cool ways to go about this.
Yeah.
The movement in general in this game.
It's sort of the equivalent to cape flight or raccoon tail flight is sword flight. So it's sort of using enemies as kind of like re-jump nodes and just getting all your movement back, and just like trying it out yourself. I think is just a lot of fun to just freestyle through the levels and just path through enemies.
Definitely true.
We're going to be seeing a lot more of that in the later levels.
So this is a stage that we are, we sometimes do it this way, we sometimes do it by just taking a bunch of clouds up, but we're going to be doing a couple of slight variations on the normal route as we go through this one. Another one, the other really big one that I think we haven't seen before on a marathon stream is going to be in World 5, specifically in the back half of 5-3.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely stick around for that, because it is a great example of what this can do. These are our dog friends. They are like your Hammer brothers. They move around randomly on the overworld, and we really would like them to come to us early so that we don't have to waste time with them moving around a ton, but it rarely happens that way, unfortunately.
Sometimes they behave. Sometimes they see that that Bo's cooking a little too much, and they say, "Hey, hold on here. Let me mosey on to the end of the stage and just cause a little bit of trouble."
Yeah, they're tricksters like that.
That was a really clean run.
Thank you. That is also a great example of using refresh and blade dash in tandem, and if that looks really cool to you, we get more abilities, so stay tuned. This is our first boss of the run. In the story, we need to defeat these bosses to help save someone who was trapped, and they have the keys that we need. You'd think that since it was a mistake, you would just be able to chat with them and be like, "Hey, something happened, and we need to help somebody who got stuck by accident, but we're in a hurry, and Kiri has a sword, so instead we're just gonna fight them." Yeah.
Politeness is secondary to Kiri's nature. She's kind of outside of such things. So
yeah, I think I really liked. I think it was the last one. You said she's adjacent to politeness.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorite descriptions of this character.
She
ever.
She is adjacent to politeness and manners. So she prefers to just use her sword to cut to the chase.
And so do we, because sword is very fast. So this is another benefit of both the slide and blade dash, is that they are both usable underwater. You can use the blade dash at any point, and you can slide as long as you're on the bottom. And they both maintain your momentum in the water. Oh boy, it's Montgomery. So this may look familiar to some of you chatters, and if it does, you may also notice that I did this puzzle wrong. Would you like to be the one that melts brains about Monty Hall this time?
All right, so back in the beginning of the run, we had our magic postcard where Bo set all of the options to option number 1. And what that does is that sort of rigs the Monty Hall problem, so we know ahead of time what the outcomes are for the puzzles if we set the magic postcard to be this specific thing. And what that allows Bo to do is come see our friend Montgomery, and Montgomery says, "Oh, there's a prize behind one of these doors, and behind the other two, it's just a single coin. And we already know that the prize is always going to be on the left door on that one, so we just pick that one first, and we don't have to switch because we know which ones are the goats ahead of time."
Indeed. So we use that twice throughout the run. There's 2 Monty Hall problem mini games, and we're going to be using that idea, that trick, the knowledge that we already have, to guarantee that we get 2 clouds, and the clouds are going to let us go through the first half of a stage, then this is the new one. We're going to go through the first half of the stage with it, and the other one we're going to just be ascending vertically a lot, and so we really like to have the cloud for that as well. And both of those are going to happen in World 5. World 5 is our chosen world to make sure that we have everything going with the clouds for. So we're gonna be seeing them in a little bit, but they don't have a whole lot of use before then.
There used to be an older route that involved collecting enough coins to buy a cloud, but thanks to the discovery of Montgomery's secret, our little cat friend can, help save us a whole bunch of time by just being predictable.
Yes. There's we don't see it in this run at all, but there's an entire town that you can go visit between stages, or whenever you get stuck. It's kind of a faux 3D movement kind of situation, like a Legend of Zelda or a Goemon kind of map would be. And it's really neat. There's a bunch of characters in there. There's some secret stuff in there, and there's a ton of mini games that aren't just the cat mini games, the cat merchant. We sadly don't see it at all in this run anymore because, as Raleigh said, we no longer need to wait for the we no longer need to gather coins to guarantee that we get a backup cloud.
Yeah, this stage is a really good example of the light and the ghost mechanic. So as we're descending in the first part of the stage, we want to get rid of as many of these fish as possible, because on the way up we're going to have the lantern and the ghosts won't be a problem, but if we didn't get rid of the fish, we might forget they're there and just go, oh, I can just pass right through this fish, and then you learn the difference between a ghost and a fish really quickly.
Yes, it's not a lesson that we want to be learning very frequently, if at all. So this is the first time that our mini boss has a new ability, which is that jump. It basically targets wherever Kiri is standing, or Yuzu, and jumps to you. So we're going to be trying to make sure that we keep them relatively on the same side of the room, so that everything happens a little bit faster. This is our second Kiri fight. Now that we have Blade Dash, these fights are extremely free. As long as you run at Kiri or at Aaron on the ground. I think I said this was a Kiri fight. Yeah. Which everything's a Kiri fight. As long as you run at Aaron on the ground and you Blade Dash the opposite direction, since we literally learned how to use this ability from her, we will always go in the same direction that she does. And we will never get hit, so we can just make that extremely free. And the benefit of this for us is that while she's using the new abilities that she's trying to teach us, she tries to use them, on us while we're actively fighting her. This kind of makes it so that the only thing that she's ever going to the only thing she's ever going to really do is the Blade Dash, which we know. There is one more move that we're going to be doing a little bit later, and we'll be further conditioning this AI to kind of do a little bit more what we want. But as of right now, we just want to get as many Blade Dashes as possible, and it's really, really easy to do, to manipulate that to do things that way. In a lot of these underwater sections, you're going to see us running into the electric eels and dying, and it's because we would otherwise have to go all the way up and then all the way down, and that's slower than just getting on the cloud and going through it all.
That's a use of the good cloud to save us a little bit of time.
Yeah. 3.6 doesn't have a ton going for it, so Kiri, if you have any announcements or things, that would be a great time.
Sure thing. Let's update everyone about that Typing of the Dead 2 Backpack Bid War, which is coming up right after this run, so you don't have that much time. In the lead is Monkey Tail at $5, and that's just $5. If you donate $6, you can change the outcome of that bid war. So again, that's for Typing the Dead 2. That's a run coming right after this. Any donations you can apply towards that bid war or any of our other bid wars, and all donations go towards the Real Hope project. So let's look forward to those donations.
Yeah, definitely get stuff in for that, y'all. Typing of the Dead is already a goated game, but definitely make it better by getting donations in. And if you don't think that it's a goated game, you should donate and tell us so.
Just tell us in the donations what you think. If you think it's good, or if you don't think so, please let us know.
Actually, I think if you want to, also donate, let us know what your favorite Typing of the Dead phrases that you've encountered before are.
Yeah, that's a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's so many good ones in there.
Yeah.
But yes, so we're back in another underwater level here. This screen is probably the screen where we play the game the most. Everybody go refill your water, get your snacks. You know,
Yeah,
take some time to take care of yourself.
This is a hydration check. So.
Yeah. A nice little break in the middle of the run.
Yeah. And we're back.
We are. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna face off against the second boss. And this, the cool thing about these boss fights is that you don't really get to see how they actually work because, again, Kiri has a sword. If you were to play this casually, these fights do not look like this. There's quite a lot more going on. So as an added bonus of doing this speedrun, we get to keep all of that a secret from you, so you have to go play it yourself to learn. We are now starting World 4. This is the ice world, and the general gimmick here is that there are ice physics. We don't really have to worry about them too much on account of we have all kinds of movement abilities that let us ignore quite a lot anyway. But the other character, Yuzu, does need to worry about it a little bit, and has one of the best outfits in any Mario ever for this.
You'll have to come to Ice World and see what it is for yourself, though.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
I remembered the Spiny. Let's go.
Nice. Yeah.
That, I hug that Spiny way too frequently. I'm glad that I didn't hug it this time.
This is one of the cooler looking routes, I think, when this one goes off without a hitch, because this is a vertical ascent level where we generally don't use the cloud, or normally don't use the cloud. Sorry to jinx you there, but
we try not to. It is what it is.
But this is one where the optimal route is a lot of refreshes and chaining, horizontal and vertical slashes to kind of just zip up this whole frozen waterfall. So, but.
We mistimed a couple of things there, but this is kind of what we were and a good illustration of what we were talking about earlier, which is even if you make a mistake, you can just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. Just get it on the next run. Now this stage, however, I believe Bo's been trying to find a way to skip this one for a while, but they haven't
for so long.
They haven't been able to find anything. So if anyone does happen to find a way to skip this little ice prison here, they'd love to hear about it.
Or even just save me a couple seconds. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a whole lot. Yeah. I've tried so many things. I've tried getting stuck in the ceiling. I've tried getting stuck in the floor. I can't shorten it. This is the one auto scroller that we haven't broken yet. So you could be the person that breaks it.
Yep.
Okay, I think next is Ghost House, right?
Yes. Yep, 4-4. This is
I'm gonna be real quiet for this one.
Yeah, this is one of the cooler concepts for a ghost house. Is as you can see here, there's two halves of the stage. There's a half that has blocks, and there's a half that has nothing in it. And Kiri occupies the half that is obscured, and you have to kind of use one half of the stage to navigate the other half, and it's really just such a cool concept to see and just kind of play through it. As some of the other stages, you go through as Yuzu and you just have kind of your normal movement, and it can be a bit tricky, but Kiri can fly and kind of just cuts to the chase, and it helps a lot.
Cuts to the chase. I like that. Mm-hmm. On account of the sword, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So this is this mini boss. They try to trick us initially. They have the same jump, but instead of just doing it, they run at us a little bit and try to fake us out. Ooh, we didn't quite get to the other side. So you'll notice there, because we didn't quite get to the other half of the room before that jump happened, they jumped all the way to the other side, which obviously is a lot slower than jumping to the side they were really close to already. So we generally don't want to see that if we can avoid it, but sometimes it'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Aryan fight for this world. We get probably the most underused, I would say, skill for the run. It's a dive kick, so it moves you down at an angle pretty quickly. This here, and while it is very nice, it doesn't have a ton of use because a lot of these stages are us kind of going up or horizontally. So we do use it to finish off a couple of big jumps here and there, but generally it ends up being kind of criminally underused. I think.
It's handy for water levels if you know where you're gonna land, and it's good for kind of like shaving a couple frames off of a big aerial landing. But otherwise, it does kind of not have the punch that the horizontal and the vertical movement does, which is, as we mentioned before, that's sort of the bread and butter of the flight and the movement. Like, see, there, you can just, that there's not going to be any, obstruction down there. You can just dive kick diagonally and save yourself a little bit of descending time. But it's a small utility, but it does make kind of an impact in certain places. Oh,
I don't know how I swung the sword that way. I mean, I do know how. I didn't mean to.
yeah, so
we're going to take... Oh, go ahead.
Okay, it's a secret little shortcut here. There's one or two of them throughout the game, and that's one of them, and that'll kind of like skip over a bit of the ice traversal and get us to the end of the level quicker.
Mm-hmm. Now this next stage is one of my favorites because it's extremely funny. It's race time.
All right, so
this is a neat stage where you can see that we are between these ice blocks. And we're racing this cool ghost here, but you'll also notice that the ghost can walk through walls and we can't.
So it's not really fair. So
yeah. So we're gonna even the playing field a little bit.
Yeah. So in the interest of good sportsmanship and good fairness, we've elected to also become intangible and move ahead of the ice block.
Yeah. So. GG's, we broke the auto scroller.
Yep.
If
GG's.
If those ice walls were infinite width, we would not be able to do this. So the fact that we can at all is really, really cool. Okay, it's this level.
Shall I?
Yes, please.
All right. So the way this level works is this is generally your standard platformer invincibility rush, where you have, star power-ups and then a bunch of intractable land. And normally on the Yuzu playthrough, you have to get the stars, which are in those item blocks, and kind of get all the way to the end. Ooh, that was rude.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to stomp.
Kiri, being as she is, she's able to route through the whole level without using any of the invincibility power-ups, and it's a fun route to figure out and go through, and you do get an achievement if you can figure out how to do it without taking any of the star power-ups.
Yeah, that's another stage that's a really, really good example of here, go ahead and chain all your abilities together, get through it as quick as you can. And you can do it without dying, which is super neat. I finally beat this boss the correct way. She's been giving me a lot of trouble recently, but we were able to deal with it. Okay. So now we're in the Fabled World 5. This is the air world. This is where Yuzu gets my favorite power-up in the game. But it's also where Kiri gets probably the coolest movement ability that I've ever had in a 2D platformer like this. And we'll talk more about it when we get it.
Yeah. So right now we're taking a couple of good cloud deaths to try to dodge some platform cycles. Like earlier there, you see Kiri just barely didn't get knocked in the head by a platform. That's a pretty tight timing to scoot all the way up there. And this is going to be a slope jumping screen where a lot of the platforms are hidden by clouds, so it's one of the trickier ones. And this is definitely a good example of go for the big trip, go for the big skip, do your big slope jump, because if you happen to die, you'll save a whole bunch of time anyway. But
yeah, you move so far horizontally doing it that even if you die at the end there, you just don't care.
This is going to be another. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is kind of a showcase of using refresh. So it would be a great time for any other shoutouts or mentions or anything like that if you got them, Kiri.
Let's see. How about our update on another bid war? Looking at Dicey Dungeons, which is the last round of the night, we have Thief in first place with $5 and Witch in second place with $3. So if you want to affect which character will be run in Dicey Dungeons, you can also send in your donations and apply them towards whichever character you want. So again, we're looking for those donations. And you can affect which of these characters and how the game will be played if you donate.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely donate for that. Dicey Dungeons is really cool. You all don't want to miss that for sure. All right, so now we're gonna do World 5-3. Now this is a very, very cool level casually. You saw that there was a wooden platform back there, and there's a bunch of obstacles. Well, you won't see the obstacles now. But the idea generally is this is meant to be like an auto-scroller where you have to deal with obstacles while maintaining position with that platform. You want it to be there. It's really the only way to get through it. But that's really slow. As cool as it is, it takes time, and that's unfortunate for us. So we use a cloud to get through the whole stage. Now, one of the things that we're doing this time, which is different, is we're going to do this part of the level without the cloud at all. And it actually saves us a little bit of time.
Yeah, like 1.5 seconds so far, and you get to see a lot more of Kiri being Kiri. So normally in our previous runs, we'd take the cloud through this section, but here we want to maintain that key speed meter in the top right to give us the forward momentum to hit this guy, jump up here, and get through the whole last section.
Nice. And yeah, that was basically exactly what we clocked earlier today, 1.5 seconds faster than the other methods. So heck yeah.
So that's a world first performance of new time save. So it's a little bit less time on the cloud.
All right, and this stage is one of the 2 ghost houses that is based basically entirely on cycles that we have to obey, at least for the first screen. The second screen, not as much, but this first one has always been a little tough. This screen though, we can hug ghosts.
Yep, we can hop on our little cloud. If it's vertical, then we vertical.
Yeah, there's pretty much no way to go faster until we get the last ability that Kiri has to go vertical as quickly. So we're going to be, I mean, you've seen it as the run has gone on, but basically anytime we need to move vertically, we're doing it with specifically that technique of hugging a bad guy.
Yeah, and we'll be getting the... just after this room, in this level, we'll be getting that last movement power-up, which will kind of tie a bow on Kiri's aerial movement.
It's easily one of the coolest things that has existed in a 2D platformer. Promise.
So here, Erin's trying to... Oh, she said, let me demonstrate it. She's trying to show off the ability, but we do kind of know what she's going to do ahead of time, so... Oh, did you break her AI?
I did. Oh. I'm still not sure how to make it consistent, but you can, yes. Okay, so now, oh, nice, good dogs. I love to see that. They have been kind of stingy today, so seeing them show up right after an Eren fight is quite nice. All right, so this is the first stage where we have access to that ability, and as such, it is the first stage where we're going to try to use it. So the ability is called Spirit Rush, and basically you need to get up to key speed, which we have right now, and we are specifically using the ability and then canceling it, because doing so allows us to maintain the momentum, similar to what we were doing previously with slope jumping. But basically that big horizontal dash is going to be something that you see quite a lot before the run is over today.
Yeah, the cool detail about it is it's sort of a sword draw technique, which as you can see there, you can aim it in all 8 directions. So it's a burst of speed similar to just like a slope jump you can keep in your pocket. And you can aim it in any of the 8 directions, and if you can cancel the end animation, you maintain all that momentum, and it basically just gives us access to, a big burst of speed wherever we can build up a full key meter, and it's really helpful in sort of the end half of the game.
Yeah, it is the way that we most want to be moving once we reach this part of the game, and it does basically replace slope jumping in every way, because slope jumping obviously has the requirement that there needs to be a slope. So if you don't have one of those, it's not going to be super duper helpful. All right, so this tower climb is the we are using the second cloud that we picked up from our boy Monty, This is a stage that we've kind of been theorizing for a bit that it is possible to make this faster as long as you are just doing vertical SRCs the entire time. But for both marathon safety and my hands, I'm not going to be doing that. We're just going to take the cloud all the way up. Now that we have passed that initial first section, we can just hug this left wall. None of these enemies can reach us, although there is one spunky guy at the top who thinks he can. Nice try, buddy.
One of these days he might.
That's that. Maybe he will. Maybe one of these days he'll get us.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go on to my favorite boss in the game, and it's not just because I found a quick kill for it, although that does help.
In a casual playthrough, it's a really cool fight. However, Bo did find a way to skip the boss and just end it in one sword stroke, so we don't get to see GG's.
It's kind of poetic, honestly.
We don't get to see any of the cool swordsmanship. Well, we get to see one bit of cool swordsmanship. I should correct myself there.
Yes, but none from the boss. Okay, so now we're into World 6. Oh, that's not quite where we wanted to go. World 6 is the lava world. So we're going to be messing around quite a bit with these pools of lava, which do what you would expect pools of lava to do, which is to say that they do kill you and ruin your day.
Yep. It does not matter if you have extra hit from a power-up, or if you have... Sometimes Kiri has a onigiri that her little fox carries, and that'll give her an extra hit. If you touch the lava, you're just dead, and that's what the lava do.
So obviously we're going to be trying to avoid that as much as possible, but as long as we are still attempting SRC tricks, we're going to be saving time. This is your classic Super Mario Brothers Rising water level type stage, except the water is lava. Which I suppose is kind of the same as the poison swamps and things that you would be accustomed to seeing previously. We basically have to wait for that cycle, but we want to try to finish the stage before the second one, and that was great. Ooh,
that was really
clean half second. You don't see that often. There's usually a bunch of little milliseconds in and around there. Okay, 6-3 is cool because we have 3 SRCs that we can do in here. I'm going to be trying to go for all of them. We just did the first one. Second one is here. Awesome. And then the third one is going to be we're going to basically jump off of this waterfall of lava, and we're going to try to hit one at the bottom.
Ooh, nice catch.
Thank you. Nice. You'll love to see that.
Yeah, the SRCs are online today.
Yeah, really good 6-3. No complaints. So to kind of do a quick callback to something we mentioned earlier, we just now crossed the 999 coins barrier, which we would have needed to get a cloud for a stage in the world that we just came from. So we're very happy that we don't have to route in coins anymore. 6-4 is the last ghost house in the game, and this one specifically just has some very tight, cool cycles to hit. There's not really any tricks that we can do in here. Our goal is... Oh, it's unfortunate. Our goal is just to try to get through it as quick as we can. Crouching when you go off of things, unfortunately, makes you completely immobile in the air. You can't do any of your abilities, and I happened to do that there, which is a bummer. So we missed the fastest cycle you could get, which is... you happen to you can slip into that door right before the block falls if you go as fast as possible, and we just barely missed it, but still making good time.
Definitely one of my favorite stages to kind of play through as quick as possible. Just you hit the line and you just hit all the cycles, and it just feels really good to just cruise through it. Yeah.
And this is the very last fight that we have with Aaron. This is going to be basically a carbon copy of the fight that we just had in Air World. All right, I think I broke the AI.
Ah, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. No more arrows.
I got to figure out what makes that happen because it saves so much time, and I really, really wish that I knew. Oh, ooh. Thank you, dogs.
Yeah, dogs have warmed up to you here in the second half.
Yeah, no complaints from me. All right, this is the last official big stage that we're going to be trying for some slope jumps, or not slope jumps, excuse me, SRCs on. There is one more area where we'll try to do it, but that one is a little special.
All right, that was a clean first half. So.
We're going to try to get the second half.
Nice. Clear the
Oh,
spike.
I didn't get my rejump. Unfortunate. Close, close.
Yeah, that's like 85%, 90%. You save a lot of time going for it, but
Yeah, so much time. Okay, this is the second of the 2 tower climbs, and this one is short enough that we don't need anything special for it, but also we have access to SRC and quite a lot of other techniques to get us through it. So we are just going to be making our way up as fast as possible, and then then is the second secret.
Yep.
And chat, we're gonna show you something that I don't think a lot of people know about. So
Yeah.
you gotta keep this on the hush hush, okay?
yeah, this is just between us here. So
Between
yeah,
friends.
So
So the first thing we're gonna do in here is we're gonna get a cool little trick called bounceless. Normally, the way you're supposed to do this is you're supposed to bounce on these blocks as you fall. But as you can see, we are not doing that, and it's because there's like 1 pixel on the very, very edge of that lava block that you can land on, and it's not super difficult to line up, and then it lets you use all of Kiri's fancy movement abilities through the rest of the stage.
No, you got
you.
pot bustered.
We did get Potemkin busted.
So normally you'd have to play through this whole level, kind of follow the block, but here's a little secret, just keep it under your hat.
Yeah, don't tell anybody about. Wow, look at that! That was
Wow.
a great level. That was so good.
Fantastic. The way you navigated the platforms normally in an expected manner. Oh, beautiful.
Well, it was, yeah, thank you. I felt really good about that stage for sure. So this is the last boss, and also the last area where we're going to be using SRCs.
Yep. So as opposed to the other bosses being sort of a boss fight against a big boss who has a whole move set, this final boss is an obstacle course, which is very dense with enemies. So you kind of run through and try to navigate all the arrows and the spears, and it's kind of a fun little capstone.
Yeah. All right. So we are at the final boss of the game. Everybody say hello to Yuzu.
Yeah.
She's
Hi,
back.
Yuzu.
Hi, Yuzu. We get to play as Yuzu for the first half of this fight, and basically the way that this fight is going to go, and the way that you're meant to do it, is what we have to do in the Yuzu half. We're going to be hopping on these blocks to hit that orb, and we need to hit the orb 3 times, but we need to jump at the orb 4 times to trigger the second phase. And we've got a neat way to trigger the 4th little jump here that we'll see after these dog soldiers run through. We are coming up on the last audience participation section of the game, though, so I'll need y'all to get ready, and we'll give you a little bit of information about what that's going to be. But basically, when we have dealt the last blow to the orb, we need the foxes to talk faster. There is a cutscene that is unskippable, and we need them to get them to talk quickly so that we can leave it. Also, as mentioned previously, swords are very powerful.
Yep. So Kiri she don't care. She just does. Oh, maybe she does care a little bit.
She cares a little. I was worried about those rocks.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Tell these foxes to talk faster.
Yeah.
We've made very good time, but now we need them to yap. We need them to talk to each other. We need them to go quickly.
Yeah, please type talk fast. Talk fast. The game somehow can hear the Twitch chat. Don't ask
That's
how. So get them to speed up. The timer is coming up as well. So and time.
46:08. Great. Love that for us. Very, very clean. Okay, so GG's everybody. That was a very good run. There's one more thing we have to do. This is both to verify the run and also the last bit of audience participation. So, in this epilogue scene, we have to be prepared to type. Don't hit enter yet, but get it typed and ready to go. The phrase is "Let's go lesbians." If you look really carefully, you can see that Twitch chat is in the top left-hand side of the screen right now. You're hiding. And what you're going to see is you'll know exactly when you need to press enter. You'll hear us say it. You'll see the moment that it happens. But this is the very last thing that we need to do for the run to be complete. So get ready. It's almost time. And let's go lesbians.
That's a
GG's
verified
everybody.
run.
That is a verified run. This has been Kitsune Tales Kiri% New Game. This game absolutely rules. You should totally pick it up and give it a try. We've only basically played the second half of the game today. There's an entire other, the first act of the game that we don't touch on at all, where you play as Yuzu. The story is fabulous. It's all voice acted. It's really, really good. You should definitely check it out. But that does it for us. So I suppose for some quick shout outs, because I know that the tech gremlins are hungry tonight. Or the tech gremlins. My name has been debeaunairVT. You can find me on Twitch under the same handle. I'm also on Blue Sky if you would like to follow me there. I tend to just repost things a lot and talk about streaming. But that is a place to go, and I would definitely like to shout out the Binary Breakers mentioned for all of y'all hanging out. It's that community has been so instrumental in keeping me motivated and getting me out to run events and everything like that. And shout outs to the Rowdy Boys as well. Y'all know who you are if you're watching. Rally, do you have anything that you'd like to shout out before we call it a day?
It's just been a pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank the stream for having us. I'd like to thank you for having me along again. It's been just a wonderful little journey, and it's been a pleasure to raise money for a good cause. I just want to, use my moment to say, get those donations in. Put them towards an incentive. Just help us out and help us do some good in the world.
Yeah, definitely do that. There's a bunch of good runs left today. There's a whole nother day of the marathon, so definitely do not change the channel. There's a ton of good gaming still yet to come. There's a bunch of stuff that you can look forward to, and make sure that you get your donations in for sure. The Real Hope Project is one of the coolest charities I've had the pleasure and honor of raising money for. These kids really need this, and every little bit counts. So make sure, even if it's like $1 or $2, even if it's just the whatever the minimum is in your brain, it is worth it. Definitely donate. So that is it for us. As mentioned, I have been Bo. I do not know when I will see you all again, but I'm sure that I will. So until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and love one another. Enjoy the rest of the marathon.